Welcome back. We have another transportation problem, and this time we're going to solve this transportation problem using two different methods. One is the north-west corner rule, and the other one is the Vogel's approximation method. Okay, now let us first solve this problem using the north-west corner rule. North-west corner rule. Okay, now first test whether this problem is balanced or not. So 6 plus 10 plus 15 plus 4, 35. 14 plus 16, 30, 30, so this is 35. So this problem is balanced. Now, unlike Vogel's approximation method, in northwest, under northwest corner rule, you need not find out the penalties. All you need to know is, you need to know which is your north. This is your north. Which is your west? This is west. And this is east. So north, west. Okay, so we first start with just like the name of the method, northwest corner rule. The rule here is we always start with the cell in the northwest. Always start with the cell in the northwest. So this is your extreme northwest cell, okay, F1 W1. So you allocate first in this cell. So what is your demand here? 6. Your supply is 14. So since the supply is greater than the demand, we can allocate 6 here, and we are left with 8. So there we have allocated first in the northwest cell, northwest. So we have met the demand of W1. Next, find out which is the cell which has not been allocated and which falls in the northwest. Now we have to ignore W1 because we have met the demand of W1. So ignore this. Now next is your northwest cell will be F1 W2. Okay, what is the demand here? 10, supply is 8. So since the supply is lesser than the demand, we can only allocate 8 here. There. So now we have exhausted the supply F1. So cancel F1 since we've exhausted the supply. Now the supply here is 0. Next, find out which is your northwest cell. Now remember, we have to take only those cells that have not been where there is no allocation. So your next cell is what? Is F2 W2, northwest. Always remember, northwest. So demand here is 2, supply is 16, so we allocate 2 here. So we are left with 14. Alright. So we've met the demand of W2. So cancel W2. Next is, which is the northwest cell? Northwest corner cell, remember. So F2 W3. F2 W3. So what is the demand here? 15, supply is 14. So we can only allocate 14 here. So this is 0. Excuse me. So we have exhausted F2. So we are finally left with what? With F3. Okay, and cell W3 and W4. Warehouses W3 and W4. So here we'll allocate 1, we're left with 4. And finally we will allocate 4 here. So there we are done. Very easy. Alright. So now find out the total cost. Is 6 times 6 plus 8 times 4 plus 2 times 9 plus 4 times 2, 14 times 2 plus 1 times 6 plus 4 times 2. Total cost is 128. So this is how you solve transportation problem using northwest corner rule. Now we are going to solve the same problem using Vogel's approximation method. Vogel's approximation method. Okay. Now you already know that this problem is balanced. Find out the number of allocations. So 6 allocations. So find out the penalties now. This would be 2, 4 minus 3, 1, 1 and 2, 1, 2 and 5, 3. Now 1 and 4, 3, 2 and 7, 5, 2 and 3, 1. So which is the highest penalty? 5. Okay, now in this corresponding to F2, which is the cell with the least cost? This is the cell F2 W3. So allocate, how much will you allocate? What is your demand? Demand is 15, supply is 16. So we can allocate 15. Alright, so we've met the demand of W3. Next. Now again, find out the penalties. 4 and 6, 2, 4 and 3, 1. Now this one we don't need to find out the penalty. The 5 and 2, 3. Now this will be 4 and 5, 1, 7 and 8, 1, 2 and 3, 1. So find out the highest penalty, 3. Now corresponding to W4, find out the cell with the least cost. So this is the one. okay, F3W4. What is the demand? 4. Supply is 5, so we can allocate 4 here. All right, so we've met the demand of W4. Okay, find out the penalties. Six and 4, 2, 4 and 3, 1, 6 and 4, 2, 8 and 9, 1, 4 and 3, 1. So which is highest penalty? 2. Now we can take any one. All right, so let's say we take this penalty that corresponds to W1, 2. Okay, find out the cell with the least cost. This is the cell F3W1. Okay, what is the demand here? 6. Supply is only 1, so we can only allocate 1. All right, so we've exhausted F3. Find out the penalties. So penalty of this will be 2. This will be 519 dash dash dash. This will be 1. This will be 2. So the highest penalty is 5. Find out the cell with the least cost is F1W2. So demand here is 10, supply is 14, so we can allocate 10. Okay, so we've met the demand of W2 as well. Sorry. So now we've already, do we need to find out the penalties? We don't have to find out the penalties anymore because we only have W1, okay, and that will be met from the supply centers F1 and F2. So what is the demand here? 5, supply is 4, so we'll allocate 4 here. This will be 0 and this will be, we are left with 1. So finally we have 1 supply, 1 demand, so allocate 1 there. So there we are done. So finally your final allocation will be So we've met all the demand as well as supply. We've exhausted all. So finally now the allocation will look like this. Final allocation. So how many allocations? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So find out the total cost. Total cost equal to 4 times 6 plus 1 times 8 plus 1 times 4 plus 10 times 4 plus 15 times 2 plus 4 times 2. Okay, equals to 24 plus 8 plus 4 plus 40 plus 30 plus 8 is equal to 114. Okay, so there we have it.